on to 11.6, which is dealing with the volume of pyramids and cones. So again, volume is everything inside of the shape. So what could I fill up or put inside that shape, and what is the mass that could fit in there, and that is volume. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So on our key points here, we're looking at a pyramid and we're looking at a cone here, and their formulas are very similar because I'm doing 1/3 of the capital B. Remember, capital B is going to be the area of the base. And I'm actually going to write this down so some of you guys will actually end up putting it down and remembering it. So your capital B stands for the area of the base, okay? And then H is standing for the actual height of your pyramid. And just so you know, right now the picture that I put on here, the H is actually your slant height on here. So you need to go ahead and draw in, this is your vertical height, is going to be the actual height you're going to be using today. So don't worry about this one. That's for your surface area that we're dealing with. Same thing with a cone. Volume is going to equal 1/3 of the area of the base. Remember, this is a circle, and I'm multiplying that times the height and multiplying all that out to give me the total volume, okay? So let's take this and let's plug it into our examples. All right, so looking at example number 1, it wants me to find the volume of the figure below. So right now, I have a cone, so I need to find the volume of that with these following dimensions. So V is going to equal 1/3 area of the base times the height. So remember, capital B stands for the area of the base. Well, if you look, I have a circle down here. So I'm going to do 1/3 the area of a circle, and I'm going to multiply that by the height of my total prism here, okay? So let's go ahead and look at that. So I'm going to end up doing 1/3 of pi times my radius, which is going to be 3 squared. And then I'm going to multiply that by the actual height. Remember, height is from the vertex straight down to the 90-degree angle. So my height here is going to be 7. Remember, this is lateral height. I need the vertical height of the actual cone. So I'm going to multiply all of that by 7. So right now, in my calculator, I'm going to do pi times 3 squared, and then I'm going to multiply that by 7. And I'm going to divide everything by 3, or multiply it by 1/3, however you want to say it. Divide it by 3, and so that should give me 65.97, and that's going to be centimeters cubed. Remember, when I'm doing volume, I'm doing cubic measurements. So that means there's about 66 1 by 1 cubes that could fit with inside this volume of this cone here, okay? Let's jump over to example number 2. All right, so on example number 2, it says it wants me to find the volume of the figure below. I'm dealing with the same info again. So I'm doing the volume is equal to 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Again, my capital B stands for the area of the base. If you look on a cone, I have a circle as my base. So I'm going to do 1/3 pi r squared times the height of my prism here. I'm basically breaking it up here, okay? So here we go. So I'm going to do 1/3 times pi times 6 squared, and I'm multiplying that by my cone height, which is going to be 8 here. Okay, so on my calculator, I'm going to do pi times 6 squared, and I'm multiplying that by 8, and I'm going to divide all of it by 3, or multiply it by 1/3 is the same thing as dividing by 3. So you should get 100.53, and there's no units here, so I'm just going to put units cubed. So I'm going to put a U there for units, okay? So that means there's about 100 1-by-1 squares that could fit inside that cone there. Let's jump down to pyramids. All right, so now example number 3, it wants me to find the volume of the figure below. So again, this is going to be a pyramid, so I'm going to do the volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. Now, the thing you'll need to look at, my base shape down here is actually going to be a triangle. So my B is going to be 1/2 the base and the height of my triangle, and then I'm going to multiply that by the height of my actual pyramid here, okay? So I'm going to do 1/2. The base and height of my triangle is going to be 14 and 8. And then the height of my whole prism here is going to be 17, and I'm multiplying all that by 17. Okay, oh, I forgot the 1/3 up here. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. So I have to take 1/3 of that whole thing. So let me go ahead and multiply this out. So I'm going to do 0.5 times 14 times 8 times 17. So 1/3 of 952. So I basically multiplied all that out. And then now I'm going to do 952 divided by 3. Because anytime I multiply by 1/3, that's the same thing as dividing by 3. So your final answer should be 317.33. And that's going to end up being, there's no units here. So it's going to be cubic units. So if you had inches, you had anything like that, you would cube that because I'm doing cubes here, or volume. Okay? Let's jump over to our next example. All right, so on our last example, we need to find the volume of the figure below, and I have another pyramid. So remember, volume is equal to 1/3 the area of the base times the height is a pyramid and a cone here. So right now, B stands for the area of the base. If you look, I have a square as my base. So I'm gonna do 1/3 of base times height, and I'm gonna multiply that by the height of my prism here. So right now the base and the height of my square down there is going to be a 2 by 2. So I'm going to do 1/3 of 2 times 2. And then I'm going to multiply that by my prism height, which is straight up and down, which is going to end up being 3. So 2 times 2 is going to be 4, times 3 is going to be 12. 12 times 1/3, or 12 divided by 3, is going to give me 4. So 4 centimeters cubed is going to end up being your total volume that's going to fit inside that pyramid, okay? So take this info, ladies and gentlemen, jump over to your Quizizz, do a little bit of practice before you go to the skill check, because I'm having some people that are having to redo their skill checks over and over. So practice a little bit before you jump over to that skill check. Other than that, holler at me when you need some help, and good luck.